Yeah.
Okay. What the? Okay. It's going well. Okay, so wait, is this still recording now?
Yeah, Mama.
Okay.
We can always edit.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my mentor, Mr. Gabrielson. How did you first become interested in martial arts?
I took a job as extra help at Madera County's juvenile home. I was only 21, which was a minimum age you had to be to work in an institution like that at that time. And it was in the San Joaquin Valley, Madera County. Not a really nice place.
How did you decide that you wanted to teach martial arts / self-defense?
Interestingly enough, I never really had a desire to teach until recently. I studied a lot of martial arts. The first one, when I started at the juvenile hall, was a very informal study. My brother-in-law was a Marine, and wanted me to be safe. So his theory of martial arts was he would pound on me, and when I could pound back, he would teach me something more. And that was how we progressed, and that kind of got me started into a more formal study. I studied a lot of different arts, a lot of different things. It wasn't until I'd been here in Petaluma, it was kind of a culmination of several years, and they just kind of worked into, well, here, I'll show you how to do this, because I'd been there. That was how I got started.
And what is your favorite part of teaching?
Occasionally we'll have a beginner come in, and they're very unsure of themselves, very uncoordinated. They're not comfortable with movement. And it's not so much the self-defense aspect, but it's seeing a person get more comfortable with how they move and more comfortable with themselves.
And how important do you think it is for someone to have knowledge pertaining to self-defense?
I think it has been and always will be important. I think most people, one of my favorite quotes, which I'll get wrong slightly, is Mahatma Gandhi said that, how do you put it, that violence is not good, but rather than cowardice and running away, acting in self-defense is much better. And that's a bad misquote, but that was basically what he was saying.
And you mentioned over the years that you used to work at Slave Charlie. You mentioned that already. And what was your role here, and what did it entail?
At the time that I worked at juvenile hall, it was not so much counseling. There was some informal counseling, but it was actually under the California code. It never says anything about punishment, but it does say, that you will put a person into an institution, and that was pretty much it. These were kids who had committed crimes, sometimes violent. If not violent, at least something that an adult would have gotten put away for. And we basically kept them off the streets for a certain period of time, and they ended up on probation, and they did it again, and then they ended back up there.
So how did you first become involved with this institution? You mentioned it already, but further detail.
Further detail. I worked at the juvenile hall for 13, almost 14 years. And then I decided this is not good for me. I went back to college at 35. Continued studying martial arts. And 5 years later got a degree in engineering. Took a job first over in Maui and then here in Petaluma. And I continued studying various things. When I walked in the door, and people laugh when I tell them this, but when I walked in the door, it had a good feeling and the school smelled right. My wife says this is a terrible thing because it's like, well, it smells like it. I'm like, no, it smells like a dojo. This is what it is. And I felt very comfortable here. I kind of went along with, I finally decided I wanted to settle down and study one art and get, and delve into one thing rather than cherry pick. You know, pick a little technique here, pick this, and study this, and put that in my toolbox. I wanted to study one thing. So of course I picked Kimco, which is everything.
So did you find that having knowledge of self-defense aided you in this environment being the facility you worked at?
Yes. I'm relatively proud and hubris. I did not need to use force very often. I do like to tell people that I was the only person in that time frame that was not successfully jumped. Jumped being attacked. And I always put it in successfully. The bad part of that is I got to be the person who, if now we'll call it a CERT team, or the person who goes in the door first, if something has to be taken away from the kid, they have to. There's a real adrenaline. I got to be a real adrenaline junkie, which is not good for the body. But so yeah, it was very helpful.
And
Sissy?
specifically with the self.
1 second, can I sit? No, here, put the.
Okay.